watching India Today Global with me, Ishita Mitra, and this is Race for the White House, a show where we get you the latest from the US elections. So on today's show, we'll tell you about a chilling letter that was written by Donald Trump's assassin, Ryan Wesley Routh, offering a bounty to eliminate the former president. Also on the show, we'll tell you how Trump is making fresh appeal to his female voter base. All of this and much more, so let's get started. It's the kind of letter that will send chills down your spine. Ryan Wesley Routh, the man who was previously on the FBI's radar, has now brought himself to the center of another major security threat. Now, the man accused of trying to assassinate Donald Trump at his Florida golf course actually wrote a chilling note months before declaring his intention to killing the former president. Investigators described the letter as both detailed and dangerous. In the letter, Routh allegedly outlines his sinister plan to assassinate the former president, Donald Trump. The letter, now obtained by federal authorities, reportedly includes references to specific locations, timings, and even methods. Now, this leaves no room for doubt about his intention. Just to give you a background, Routh was arrested on September 15th by Secret Service agents after he was spotted with an AK-47 rifle hiding in the bushes outside Trump's Florida house. Authorities say Routh dropped off a box containing ammunition and several notes at a friend's house months before his arrest. Now, one of the contents of this box was the shocking letter. In that letter, Routh addressed the world and confessed to the failed assassination attempt on Trump. In the letter, he further wrote that this was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I failed you. I tried my best and gave it all the gumption I could muster. It is up to you now to finish the job, and I will raise $150,000 to whomever can complete the job. Now, the handwritten note was only discovered after the person opened the box and alerted authorities in the wake of Routh's arrest. The letter also criticized Trump for his handling of foreign relations, particularly with Iran. He further expressed that Trump ended relations with Iran like a child. Now, the box also contained ammunition, a metal pipe, miscellaneous building materials, tools, 4 phones, and multiple other letters. It wasn't immediately clear if Routh allegedly wrote the note on the basis of the fact that the assassination attempt would be unsuccessful or if he was referring to another apparent plot. Officials say that the level of detail in the letter indicates that this wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment idea, but a well-thought-out plan. Now, investigators say Routh's words were cold, calculated, and extremely specific. Law enforcement agencies are now piecing together Routh's movements, contacts, and potential accomplices. Investigators are also working to understand how far along his plans were and whether he had any external support to assassinate Donald Trump. At the court hearing on Monday, prosecutors produced images of the letter, and prosecutors argued that Routh is a potential threat to the community and ordered him jail time without any bail. Now, prosecutors also produced new evidence tying Routh to the gun and the place where it was found at Trump's golf club. The gun had been modified with a detachable magazine as well as a scope to make it accurate to shoot at long range. The court papers confirmed that Routh's fingerprints were discovered on the rifle. In addition, Routh was identified by 2 eyewitnesses. One is the motorist who saw him fleeing the scene, and the other was the FBI agent who originally spotted Routh along the tree line outside the fence. As the investigation unfolds, Donald Trump's team has not made any official comments, but the security around the former president remains a top priority. So for more on this, our White House correspondent Rohit Sharma has sent us this report. Listen in.
Federal prosecutors investigating the assassination attempt, the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump, have filed court documents. The court documents essentially that were submitted today in the court have a letter, a handwritten letter by Ryan Routh, who wrote this letter months ago and sent it to an unidentified person. Now remember, this box that he sent this letter in was sent months ago to an unidentified person. It included this letter, it included 4 phones, there's a metal pipe, and among other things that was sent to this unidentified person who opened up this box only recently after this assassination attempt. Ryan Routh, in his letter, is seeking forgiveness from the world for him not being able to assassinate President Trump. He's talking about how he had planned this mission and that there's a $150K US dollar bounty essentially that he has placed on anybody who pledges to do this for him. Ryan Routh is in custody, and the federal prosecutors have now found out that he only landed in Florida a month ago before trying to carry out this assassination attempt. Look, he's been held for the charges of having a gun in possession and the second assassination on President Donald Trump. Also, the fact that this revelation has just come out now, about 42 days before the election, has the potential of swinging the voters. Now, Trump and his campaign have gone on the record multiple times saying that he is the only person standing between making America great again or America becoming communist. So this letter does have the potential where people would look at this and say, you know what, Trump has been right all along. And he has been saying this for years now, that there are people out to get him. This could actually impact swing voters in some of those districts, independent voters in the swing states and swing districts, where the election for the White House would be decided.
Donald Trump is once again quoting a key voting bloc, the female voters, as he ramps up the final stretch of his 2024 campaign. Now, speaking in the battleground state of Pennsylvania, Trump expressed that he would protect the women of this country if re-elected. This comes as Trump is well aware of his struggles with women voters and how it can cost him dearly in the election. Now, the former president, who has a history of making demeaning comments about women, has been seeking to cast himself as a safeguard for women.
Because I am your protector. I want to be your protector. As president, I have to be your protector. I hope you don't make too much of it. I hope the fake news doesn't go, oh, he wants to be their protector. Well, I am. As president, I have to be your protector. I will make you safe at the border, on the sidewalks of your now violent cities, in the suburbs where you are under migrant criminal siege, and with our military protecting you from foreign enemies, of which we have many today because of the incompetent leadership that we have. You will no longer be abandoned, lonely, or scared.
The former president's appeal comes as he looks to recover support among suburban women. Now, this group drifted away from him in the 2020 elections, and Trump's tone appears to be a calculated shift with a softer emphasis on women's concerns. But will it be enough? Well, Trump has had trouble winning over female voters in each of his past two elections. In fact, recent polls have shown that he once again trails Kamala Harris, who has rapidly consolidated support among female voters. Now, Harris has made reproductive rights central to her campaign, blaming Trump for the end of Roe v. Wade and the restrictive abortion ban subsequently passed by the states across the country. Meanwhile, the former president has frequently bragged about his role in appointing the Supreme Court judges who helped to overturn Roe v. Wade judgment. On Monday night, he repeated that court's ruling gave back the authority to the states to determine their own limits on abortion. Now, Trump says that Americans had favored this move for decades, but that's not all. Trump also addressed economic issues that resonate with women, especially working mothers and small business owners. Trump frequently highlighted the strong economy, low unemployment rate, and tax cuts during his presidency. And now he's using that legacy to make the case that he can bring back prosperity to America. Now, specifically for women who are feeling the squeeze from inflation and economic uncertainty, the big question is, will Trump's strategy work? Well, polls show that women, particularly in suburbs, moved away from Trump in the year 2020. And this shift played a significant role in his loss to Joe Biden. So now Trump is certainly making an effort to soften his image with women voters this time around. The focus on safety and family security is smart, given current concerns, but it's still an uphill battle. Many female voters who left Trump in 2020 did so because of his divisive rhetoric, and it remains to be seen now if this more targeted message will bring them back. Now, as the 2024 election campaign gains momentum, Trump's appeal to female voters will be one of the key dynamics to watch. But will his renewed focus on safety, economic prosperity, and family security pay off? Well, only time and the ballot box will tell. Moving on, now it looks like that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has some strong opinion about Donald Trump's running mate, JD Vance. And let's just say that he's not holding back. Now, ahead of a potential meeting with Donald Trump, Zelensky has called Vance too radical. During an interview on Monday, Zelensky's no-nonsense diplomacy was on full display when he shared his thoughts about JD Vance. Zelensky, who's been balancing global diplomacy with a full-scale invasion back home, likely isn't thrilled about Vance's critical views. Now, Vance has long been a skeptic of US military assistance to Ukraine, and the Republican vice presidential candidate argues that the United States lacks necessary resources to help Ukraine in its war against Russia. Moreover, Vance outlined a blueprint to end the war during an interview earlier this month. He also called for the establishment of a special demilitarized zone between the two warring nations, and that plan sparked outrage in Ukraine. Now, during Zelensky's recent interview, he condemned Vance's blueprint and said that the Ohio senator wants them to make a sacrifice. So what does this mean for the potential Trump-Zelensky meeting? Well, things could get a little awkward to say the least. Trump has often praised Zelensky, but with JD Vance in the mix, it could turn into a diplomatic balancing act. After all, Trump and Vance have been pretty cozy politically, and Trump doesn't shy away from supporting his allies. It's definitely unusual for a foreign leader to make such a pointed remark about a US senator, especially one from a party that they might have to work again with. Now, Zelensky knows his audience, and this comment suggests that he's not afraid to stir the pot. So what's next? Will Zelensky's comment create tension between Trump and Vance? Or is it all just a part of the game in international diplomacy? Well, one thing's for sure, with Zelensky, Trump and JD Vance involved, we can expect plenty more headlines and bold statements. Now it's time to talk in numbers. With less than 7 weeks remaining for the US presidential polls, the race for the White House is becoming quite intense. Vice President Kamala Harris is still maintaining a narrow lead nationally and a neck-to-neck battle in the swing states. So let's take a look at the numbers at how presidential contenders are faring in polls today. According to the New York Times poll, Harris is leading in the national polls with an approval rating of about 50%, while Trump is trailing at 47%. Now, in the swing state of Michigan, Harris is maintaining a lead at about 49%, while Trump is at 47%. In the state of Pennsylvania, Harris is again at 49% with a narrow lead, while Trump is at 48%. In the states of North Carolina and Nevada, Harris and Trump are both at a tie, locked in with 48% rating. Now, in the state of Wisconsin, Harris is maintaining a lead at about 50%, while Trump is at 48%. In the state of Georgia, Trump is maintaining a lead with 49%, while Harris is at 47%. Coming to the state of Arizona, Trump has taken a lead for the first time with a rating of about 48%, while Harris is still at 47%. And in the state of Georgia, Trump has taken a narrow lead with about 49% rating, while Harris is at 47%. Time now for some quick updates from America's political landscape that you might have missed. First up, the Biden administration has proposed a ban on Chinese-developed software in internet-connected vehicles within the US. Now, officials argue that this is a proactive step to protect American citizens from potential cyber threats posed by Beijing. Now, this move comes after similar actions against Huawei technology and Chinese-owned platforms like TikTok. Now, the ban is primarily driven by fears that Chinese intelligence agencies could exploit the software in cars to monitor American citizens. And this also includes tracking their movements or even using the vehicles as gateways to gain access to critical infrastructure, such as the US electric grid. Moving on, JD Vance recently blamed Kamala Harris for high-priced eggs due to inflation in a recent video from his campaign trail. However, he was caught lying in the video as viewers pointed out a price board right behind him which sold the eggs for about $2.99, as opposed to the Ohio senator's claim of them being about $4 each. So in reaction to the video, some people claim that he has got his facts upside down. Now, Vance's remarks came as he navigated the supermarket aisles, aiming to connect with voters ahead of the upcoming elections. And finally, US intelligence officials have claimed that Russia and Iran are using artificial intelligence to influence the American election. Authorities further claim that Russia was a much more sophisticated actor and had a better understanding of how the US elections work and the appropriate targets. Moreover, Russia has generated the most AI content related to the US election than any other foreign power. Well, it looks like the former US President Donald Trump is feeling generous on the campaign trail. A video shared by Trump's campaign team shows him handing a $100 bill to a woman checking out at a grocery store. That's right, cash straight from Trump himself. Now, was it a political move or a spontaneous act of kindness? Well, we leave you to decide that. Take a look at these visuals.
Take the rest of it. Here, it's going to go down a little bit. It just went down $100. We'll do that for you from the White House, all right?
Thank you.
All right, bye. Nice seeing you, everybody. Beautiful. They're your kids?
Yeah, they are. 3 boys.
Perfecto. Perfecto. 3 for 3. Bye, everybody.
Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of Race for the White House. Stay tuned to India Today Global for more updates on US elections.